Have you ever wondered why your energy seems to drain faster? Your desire fades and you just don't feel like yourself anymore. If you're a man over 60, what if I told you the biggest threat to your testosterone might not be age, but something sitting right now in your refrigerator labeled as healthy? Shocking as it sounds, certain vegetables you eat every day might be the reason behind your low drive, poor circulation, and shrinking confidence as a man. But there's good news because what you eat can also bring it all back. In this video, I'll reveal the 3 vegetables silently destroying your manhood and the 3 that can help restore it. If you've ever faced these struggles, comment number 1 below so I know you're not alone. Like the video, and don't forget to subscribe for more real science-backed truths like this. Part 1. Reveal 3 vegetables that secretly destroy your testosterone. Now, here's the hard truth. Testosterone doesn't just disappear with age. It's not some inevitable loss written into your DNA. It fades when your body is exposed day after day to hidden hormone disruptors, chronic inflammation, and silent nutrient thieves. And tragically, some of the biggest culprits wear the disguise of health food. They're in your kitchen, on your plate, maybe even in the smoothie you had this morning. But once you understand how these seemingly innocent vegetables operate, you'll never look at your grocery list the same way again. Let's start with one that's praised in every plant-based cookbook and recommended by countless wellness influencers. You've probably heard that soy is good for your heart, good for cholesterol, good for weight management. But for men over 60, it may be one of the most dangerous healthy foods you're eating every single day. I once worked with a 62-year-old client who had been vegan for over a decade. He jogged daily, never smoked, avoided alcohol, and every morning, like clockwork, he had a tall glass of soy milk with breakfast and often tofu or edamame for lunch. From the outside, he was the picture of discipline. But when we tested his hormones, his testosterone levels mirrored those of a man 20 years older and worse. His estrogen levels were abnormally elevated for a male of any age. Here's what was happening behind the scenes. Soy is rich in phytoestrogens, plant-based compounds that mimic the function of estrogen in the body. These compounds bind to estrogen receptors, subtly increasing the feminine hormonal signal in a system already trying to preserve its last reserves of masculinity. And in aging men where testosterone is naturally on the decline, this shift is magnified. It's like putting a heavy thumb on the wrong side of the hormonal scale. Worse yet, soy consumption can increase levels of SHBG, sex hormone binding globulin, which acts like a padlock on your testosterone, making it unavailable for your body to use. The result, you might be producing some testosterone, but it's trap neutered, while estrogen levels continue to climb. And that hormonal imbalance doesn't just affect your lab work. It shows up in your energy, your drive, your ability to feel and act like yourself. And here's the kicker, soy is in far more than just soy milk or tofu. It sneaks into protein bars, plant-based, meat, substitutes, sauces, snacks, even some salad dressings. Because it's cheap, versatile, and has the word plant in front of it, manufacturers love it. But your testosterone does not. Now, does this mean soy is toxic for everyone? No. But for men over 60, especially those already noticing fatigue, loss of libido, or softer erections, it can quietly accelerate the very decline you're trying to reverse. And you wouldn't even know it's happening. You think you're making the right choices. You think you're protecting your health. But what you're really doing is nudging yourself closer and closer to male menopause. And the most dangerous part, you won't feel the drop until it's already affecting your confidence, your performance, and your identity. So if soy has quietly taken root in your daily diet, it may be time to rethink what you consider healthy. Because what worked for you at 30 might be slowly undermining you at 60. Now, let's talk about something even more insidious because unlike soy, this one doesn't just hide in health food stores. It's woven into almost every processed item in the modern kitchen. I'm talking about corn, not the fresh, grilled kind you enjoy at a summer barbecue, but the hyper processed versions found in corn oil, corn syrup, corn starch, margarine, and nearly every snack aisle product you can think of. It often starts with a well intentioned switch. Maybe you replaced butter with margarine because it's heart healthy. Maybe you cook with vegetable oil every day, not realizing that most of it is made from corn. You grab low fat popcorn or corn based chips thinking they're better than greasy alternatives. But here's the hard truth: these processed corn derivatives are flooding your system with omega 6 fatty acids. And when your omega 6 to omega 3 balance is thrown off, as it almost always is in modern diets, it triggers something much deeper than you expect: chronic low grade inflammation. You may not feel it like a fever, but your body knows. It's like a fire smoldering just beneath the surface, burning through your arteries, impairing your endothelium, that delicate lining inside your blood vessels, and silently destroying one of the most essential molecules for male function, nitric oxide. Without nitric oxide, your blood vessels can't expand properly. Blood can't rush to the areas that matter most, like your brain, your heart, and yes, your penis. Your erections weaken, your stamina fades. Your mornings start without that old signal you once took for granted, and you're left wondering what happened, but it doesn't stop there. This same chronic inflammation is directly tied to prostate enlargement, difficulty urinating at night, aching joints, and persistent fatigue. That fog you feel, the drained energy by mid afternoon, it's not just aging, it's biochemical warfare launched from your own kitchen. And corn oil, corn syrup, and processed corn products are the frontline soldiers. Here's the kicker: these ingredients are everywhere, even in healthy packaged foods. They're cheap, they taste good, and they've been normalized. But your hormone system doesn't care how normal they seem. It only reacts to the inflammation, and that inflammation is cutting off blood flow and subtly eroding the very foundations of male performance. The good news: this is one of the easiest things to change. Replace corn based oils with extra virgin olive oil. Increase your intake of omega 3s from salmon, walnuts, flax, and start reading labels like "your energy depends on it," because it does. What you think is protecting your heart might be suffocating your manhood from the inside out. And finally, the one that surprises almost every man I speak to: because this vegetable isn't just praised, it's worshipped in the health community. It's the poster child of detox diets, smoothie bowls, and eat your greens campaigns. But for men over 60, especially those struggling with low testosterone, frequent urination, and diminished drive, this popular leafy green might be doing more harm than good when consumed the wrong way. Let me explain. Spinach, specifically raw. Spinach is high in a compound called oxalate. While oxalates aren't toxic on their own, they act like molecular bandits inside your gut. Their favorite targets: essential minerals like zinc and magnesium. When oxalates bind with zinc, they form insoluble compounds that your body can't absorb. In other words, you can eat all the zinc you want, but if you're chasing it with raw spinach, you might never absorb it. Why does this matter so much? Because zinc is one of the most critical nutrients for testosterone production, sperm health, prostate function, and immune response. It's the metal your manhood is built on. Without enough zinc, your ability to produce testosterone is hampered. Your libido weakens, your immune defenses falter, and your prostate, it swells, inflames, and starts pushing back on your bladder. Sound familiar? I once worked with a 67-year-old man who started every morning with a green powerhouse smoothie filled with raw spinach, kale, and a scoop of vegan protein powder. He was eating clean, training moderately, doing everything right. But he still felt drained, foggy, and disinterested in intimacy. His zinc levels tanked, his testosterone at rock bottom, the culprit, that virtuous leafy drink that robbed his minerals before his body ever had a chance to use them. But here's the simple fix: cook your spinach. Just lightly steaming or sautéing it breaks down most of the oxalates, freeing up your body to actually absorb the minerals you eat. Or alternate it with low oxalate greens like arugula or cooked chard. It's not about avoiding spinach altogether. It's about understanding how to eat like a man whose body now has different needs than it did at 30. Because here's the truth, your testosterone isn't just influenced by what you eat. It's shaped by how you prepare your food, how it interacts with other nutrients, and how aware you are of the hidden obstacles that look like health but behave like sabotage. That smoothie that made you feel virtuous might have been the very thing quietly stealing your edge. Part 2. Expand 3 vegetables that can restore your testosterone and manhood. If there are foods quietly stealing your masculinity, there are also foods that can help you reclaim it. Not every vegetable is your enemy. In fact, some of them, when chosen and prepared correctly, can reignite the very hormones that once gave you energy, confidence, and desire. And they don't come in pills or synthetic injections. They grow in the ground, they sit in produce aisles, and they've been quietly waiting for you to discover what they can really do. These next 3 vegetables are more than food. They're natural therapy for men over 60 who want to feel like themselves again. Let's begin with one that rarely makes the list in typical men's health discussions, but might just be the most powerful natural ally for your blood flow, brain, and performance beats. Now, if you've been noticing that your erections aren't as firm, that they take longer to happen or sometimes don't happen at all, and that your morning reflex has vanished, the cause might not be hormonal, at least not directly. What's often behind those changes isn't low testosterone itself, but poor circulation, specifically the decline of something called nitric oxide. No, nitric oxide is the invisible molecule that allows your blood vessels to expand, letting blood surge where it's needed most. It's what fuels the moment. It's what supports healthy erections. And with age, especially after 60, nitric oxide production drops significantly. That's where beets come in. Beets are rich in dietary nitrates, not the artificial kind found in processed meats, but natural plant-based nitrates that your body converts into nitric oxide. When you eat beets, you're not just getting fiber or color, you're giving your blood vessels the signal to open up to flow to function. You're fueling the biological response that underlies everything from sexual performance to mental clarity and physical endurance. One study published in the Journal of Applied Physiology found that older adults who consumed beetroot juice experienced a 21% increase in blood vessel dilation, effectively making their cardiovascular system behave 10 to 15 years younger during physical activity. That's the power of nitric oxide, and that's what beets deliver. And the benefits don't stop at the bedroom. Beets can lower blood pressure, improve oxygen delivery to muscles and the brain, and even enhance memory and energy levels throughout the day. But there's a catch. How you eat them matters. Canned beets or pickled versions lose much of their nitrate content. Microwave meals with beet flavoring. Practically useless. What you want are fresh beets, steamed, lightly roasted gently, or blended raw into a smoothie. Even better, time it right. Consuming beets 1 to 2 hours before light exercise, like a brisk walk or strength routine, can amplify the nitric oxide effect and sharpen your body's physiological response. It's not just about the food, it's about how and when you use it. If testosterone is the army, then nitric oxide is the roads, the trucks, the infrastructure that delivers those troops to the front lines. No matter how much testosterone you have, without strong circulation, it doesn't reach where it's needed. But with beets, you open the gates. So if your mornings have gone quiet, if your performance feels muted, start by adding something red and vibrant to your plate. It's not magic, it's beets, and they may just be the spark your system's been waiting for. But circulation is only part of the story. To truly reclaim your energy and manhood, you need more than blood flow, you need hormonal balance. Because even with good nitric oxide levels, if your testosterone keeps being converted into estrogen, or if your body can't flush out the hormonal waste, you're still stuck in the same frustrating cycle. That brings us to the second vegetable in your arsenal, broccoli. Yes, the same green florets you might have pushed aside as a child could now be the key to protecting your prostate, balancing your hormones, and keeping your testosterone where it belongs. Working for you, not against you. As men age, estrogen levels slowly rise, while testosterone naturally declines. That hormonal imbalance often shows up not just in lower libido or performance, but also as increased belly fat irritability, disrupted sleep, and even frequent nighttime urination. You may feel more sluggish, less motivated, and though it's hard to admit, less like a man. Broccoli helps flip that script. Why? Because it contains a powerful compound called sulforaphane. Found in cruciferous vegetables like broccoli, sulforaphane activates detox pathways in the liver that break down and eliminate excess estrogen. In other words, broccoli helps your body flush out what doesn't belong and restore the space testosterone needs to operate freely. Even more impressive, sulforaphane is a natural anti-inflammatory which protects the lining of your blood vessels and supports the health of your prostate, a major concern for men over 60. Research published in Cancer Prevention. Research shows that men who consume sulforaphane-rich vegetables regularly have a lower risk of prostate enlargement and may even reduce early-stage cancer cell development. But here's the kicker: how you cook your broccoli matters more than you think. That vital sulforaphane is incredibly sensitive to heat. When you microwave it until it's mushy or boil it into tasteless oblivion, you're not just ruining the texture, you're destroying the very compound your body desperately needs. Instead, the key is to steam broccoli lightly for 3 to 4 minutes, just enough to soften, without killing the nutrients. Or better yet, enjoy it raw with a healthy dip like hummus or Greek yogurt. It's simple, it's powerful, and it makes a difference you can feel. Think of testosterone as your king. If beets open the battlefield, then broccoli is the king's loyal guard, eliminating invaders, defending the palace, and keeping the kingdom running smoothly. A few florets a day isn't just nutrition, it's strategic reinforcement for the most vital system you have as a man. But there's still one more player in this quiet revolution of hormonal revival. And this one works not with brute force, but with stealth. It doesn't build testosterone, it doesn't improve blood flow. Instead, it plays a more subtle role protecting the testosterone you already have from being stolen. And it does this without any hype, without any trendiness, just through quiet, consistent action. I'm talking about white button mushrooms. Yes, those plain little mushrooms that often get thrown onto pizzas or mixed into soups actually hold one of the most overlooked secrets in men's hormonal health. Here's the reality most men don't know. After 60, your body begins producing more of an enzyme called aromatase. Aromatase is like a thief. It takes your precious testosterone and converts it into estrogen before you even get to use it. And the more body fat you carry, especially around the belly, the more active this enzyme becomes. So even if you're producing a decent amount of testosterone, much of it may be lost to estrogen conversion, leaving you tired, less focused with lowered drive, and an uncomfortable sense that something's off. White button mushrooms change that. They contain natural aromatase inhibitors compounds that block this conversion process, allowing your testosterone to stay intact, circulating. As free usable testosterone, the kind that fuels libido, mental clarity, muscle tone, and emotional stability. A study by the Beckman Research Institute found that compounds in white mushrooms significantly reduced aromatase activity in prostate tissue, giving us a clear view of how they help preserve hormonal integrity, especially in aging men. What's the best way to use them? Saute them lightly with olive oil, garlic, and a pinch of black pepper. Combine with leafy greens or lean proteins 2 to 3 times a week. No need for exotic powders or expensive extracts. This humble mushroom works quietly in the background, guarding your testosterone like a silent sentinel. Because not every soldier in this battle screams for attention. Some just hold the line day in, day out, so you can show up in your life with strength, purpose, and calm power. And that's exactly what your body craves at this stage in life, not just more hormones, but a defense system that keeps what matters where it belongs. With beets improving blood flow, broccoli clearing the hormonal field, and mushrooms protecting your reserves, you're not just eating, you're rebuilding. Part 3, Expansion. Micronutrients and habits that support male hormones. So now you know which vegetables are silently draining your hormones and which ones can reignite your fire. But there's one more piece of the puzzle, a hidden factor almost no one talks about. Yet it determines whether the testosterone your body creates can actually be used where it matters. Because here's the truth, making testosterone isn't enough. You also have to set it free. You might have perfectly functioning testicles. Your body might be producing testosterone every day. But most of that testosterone may be trapped, bound up by a protein called SHBG or sex hormone binding globulin. And when testosterone is bound, it's inactive. It can't affect your mood, your energy, your performance, or your confidence. Only free testosterone, the unbound form, can cross into cells and do the job nature intended. That's where boron comes in. This trace mineral doesn't get much attention. It's not flashy. It's not hyped by supplement ads, but it's quietly one of the most powerful natural tools for increasing bioavailable testosterone in aging men. How? By reducing the amount of SHBG in your bloodstream, boron unlocks the cage. One study published in Biological Trace Element Research tracked healthy men supplementing with boron for just 7 days. The results were astonishing. SHBG levels dropped by 28%, and free testosterone increased by 11% in just 1 week. Not because they produced more testosterone, but because more of what they already had became usable. Now, here's the best part, you don't need a supplement. Boron is naturally found in delicious everyday foods. Think avocados, raisins, dried prunes, almonds, walnuts, and dates. No powders, no pills, just smart choices. Try adding a few raisins to your salad or blending 2 dates into your morning smoothie. Pair a few slices of avocado with your eggs at breakfast. These simple, delicious steps don't just improve your diet, they set your hormones free to work for you. Because you might be making testosterone, but unless it's activated, it won't change how you feel, how you move, or how you show up in the world. Boron is the key that unlocks the gate, and that gate leads directly to energy, desire, and clarity. But unlocking testosterone isn't just about one nutrient. It's about building a system that supports hormone flow from every angle, including how and when you eat. Let's talk about a few powerful habits that can help everything you've learned in this video come together. First, avoid counterproductive combinations. For example, don't pair raw spinach with foods like oysters or red meat, which are rich in zinc. The oxalates in spinach will bind to zinc and block its absorption, canceling out the very benefit you're trying to get. Likewise, don't consume nitrate-rich foods like beets alongside inflammatory fats like margarine or corn oil. That combination can generate oxidative stress that neutralizes nitric oxide, the very molecule beets are meant to boost. Second, enhance nutrient absorption. Certain pairings amplify effect. Cooking white mushrooms with olive oil and black pepper enhances bioavailability of their active compounds. Eating beets 1 to 2 hours before exercise makes the most of nitric oxide's power, amplifying blood flow, oxygen delivery, and even erectile function. Don't just eat right, eat smart. Third, respect timing and frequency. You don't need to eat broccoli every day to benefit from sulforaphane. In fact, it works better every other day, giving your detox systems time to cycle. Mushrooms only need to be eaten 2 or 3 times per week to maintain their aromatase blocking effects. It's not about overloading, it's about rhythm, consistency, and balance. Because masculinity isn't just about producing testosterone, it's about delivering it to the right tissues at the right time in the right form. And that depends not just on what you eat, but how you live. Your habits, your timing, your choices, they are the command center of your hormone system. When you eat with intention, when you understand how your food either blocks or unleashes your potential, you're no longer at the mercy of age. You're back in charge. And that's exactly where we're headed next. You were once strong, clear, and driven. Don't let the foods you thought were healthy quietly take that away. Now you know the truth. Some vegetables lower your testosterone, some restore it. And your plate can either drain your power or help you get it back. If you're ready to reclaim your energy, your drive, your edge, comment, and I'm ready below. And if someone you care about is silently struggling to share this video with him, it might be the wake up call he needs. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more real science based insights because you're not fading, you've just been eating wrong. And now it's time to change that.